Functions are one of the most important concepts in Python. In this video, I'll show you how functions work in less than 10 minutes. And by the end, you'll be able to write your own functions from scratch. Let's jump straight into VS Code. Now this is a function. To create a function in Python, we use the keyword def. def keyword is used to create functions in Python, followed by the name of the function and then parentheses. Then after these parentheses, we put a colon. Now the colon is to tell us that this function has a block of code. So anything indented under the function becomes the components of that function. So in this function, I can say def greet parenthesis print hello. So it means the function prints hello to the user. Now let's run this and let's see something interesting. If I hit run, nothing happens. Nothing is printed to my output. Now let's do this. We write the name of the function with parentheses. Now let's run this function and let's see what happens. You can see that hello is printed to the user. This is because this greet with the parentheses actually calls the function to run. So after I've written the function, I now have to call it before it runs. Functions become much more useful when we give them information. How do I provide information to this function? The pieces of information I'm going to provide to a function are called parameters. Now let's say we wanted to customize this hello to the name of a person. So in that case, we are going to provide a function with a parameter called name. Now we do something like hello plus name. If I call this function, I now have to pass in the name of a person, which is the information I'm giving to the function. So greet, so let's say Jacob. So if I say greet Jacob and I run this function, I now have hello Jacob. But notice that hello and Jacob have been joined together. That's because I didn't explicitly include a space. So now let's run this and now we see hello Jacob. So if I change the name here to, let's say, Mary, I now have hello Mary. So a function has been created to greet a person. Now we pass in an extra information, which is the name of the person, and then we have a customized output. Now we can pass in multiple parameters to the function. So let's say I have a function which sums up two numbers. So def, I'll call it an adder, and two numbers a and b. So let's say print the sum is a plus b. The sum is a plus b. Okay. Now if I run this, I have to call the function first. So adder, and I pass in two numbers, say 3 and 5. So you know the sum is going to be 8. So let me clear the terminal. If I run this, I'm going to have the sum is 8 because A and B are two numbers 3 and 5. So based on the way we arrange the letters or the parameters, our inputs have to tally. So if I say A comes before B, then it means 3 matches A and 5 matches B. Alright, so that's it for multiple parameters. You can create functions with 3, 4, 5 parameters. Now there is a problem. This function adds two numbers. But how do I obtain the output? How do I store the output in a variable? So I know the sum of the two numbers is 8. But then how do I keep the 8 in a variable? Shall I do something like this? Maybe number equals adder. Well, let's see if I can do something like this. Let's print number and let's see what we get. If I hit run, I have the sum is 8 and none. None simply means nothing. So it means nothing was stored in number. Although I summed the two numbers 3 and 5, I stored nothing. How do I correct this? We correct this by using what we call the return statement. So now I'm going to modify this function by saying return a plus b. So if I say return a plus b, it means after adding a and b, don't print the answer to the user. Instead, return the answer to a variable. So in that case, I have to provide a variable. So I provide the variable number so that the function can return a plus b into number. Now let's hit run and let's see the value for number 8. Notice there is only one print statement, which is printing number. So the number is 8, which means I summed a and b and returned the value into the variable called number. I have a challenge for you. Pause the video and try this yourself. Create a function called multiply that returns the product of two numbers. Here's one solution. Def multiply a, b. Return a times b. That's it. So if I'm to print multiply 9, 5, that's 9 by 5, and that's going to give us 45. So if I hit run, you have 45 printed to the user. One more example. I would like you to create a function which checks if a number is even or odd and returns even or odd. Alright, so we begin with a def, then maybe you call it is even, then let's say number. So if number, now how do I know if a number is even? I have to use modulus. If I divide that number by 2, my result should be 0. That makes it even. So return a string called even. So anything else, it should return odd, because we only have even or odd numbers. Okay. Now let's try. Let's print it's even. 89. 89 is odd. If I hit run, I see odd. So now let's make it 86. 86 is even. If I hit run, I see even. Alright. So today we learned 4 things. We create functions using def. Functions can accept inputs called parameters. Functions can return values using a keyword called return. And finally, functions help us avoid repeating code. And if this video helped you in any way, please subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next one.